In this video, I'm going to show you 7 of the best digital items to sell on Etsy with low competition and high search volumes. And I absolutely promise that these are 7 of the most unique ideas that you'll find on Etsy. And for each idea, I'm going to show you the actual search volumes and the competition level using one of my favorite tools, eRank. So if you want the best digital products to sell on Etsy that you've never heard of before, then honestly, I'm so proud of this list that I've put together. I've put a lot of research into this and this video is definitely going to be for you. Alright, what's up guys, Alfie here. I've personally grown my Etsy shop to over 5,000 sales in 2 years and I've had pretty good success myself launching my own digital products. So here are 7 of the most unique digital products to sell on Etsy with high search volume and low competition. And make sure you stick around to hear number 7 because honestly, when I came across it, it literally blew my mind. But we're gonna start with number 1, and this is gonna be job-specific gifts. So think of tradesmen, doctors, nurses, lawyers, or engineers as just some basic examples. The more unique, the better. But for this example specifically, I'm going to be using occupational therapists. And before we start, I want to say a massive thanks to all occupational therapists because you're doing an amazing job and you're making so many people's lives worth living. Now, if you take a look here on eRank, there's many avenues that you can go down with this one. Because as you can see, the search term occupational therapy gifts has high monthly search volumes and very low competition on Etsy. So this means that you can hit the gifting market. And as a bonus, you could also do print on demand products, such as sweatshirts and shirts, which also have low competition and pretty high searches. But just for the purpose of this video, I'll be sticking to the gifting category and purely digital items. So some great examples for the occupational therapist sub-niche would be items like digital notebooks, print at home art, and planners, all of which you can very easily knock up on a program such as Canva. And just remember with this one, it also applies to any other specific job niche. So like I mentioned earlier, it could be something like lawyers or engineers. You can make a planner for a lawyer or you could make a diary for an engineer. The key here is to just make specific digital items for very specific job types. Okay, so moving on to idea number 2 now, and this is going to be unique fonts. So unique fonts and especially trending unique fonts are going to be great items to sell on Etsy. So I mean, just take a look at the high search volumes and low competition for this very popular font at the minute, which I'll refer to as Dolly font for potential copyright reasons. So this is an example of something that is massively trending at the minute and loads of people are searching for. But I mean, the fonts that you sell on Etsy don't necessarily have to be based on trending movies, for example. You can quite easily find your own super cool fonts that's free to download online, and you can just repurpose and repackage them as a whole set of fonts, and then you can sell them on Etsy. Because I mean, yeah, as you can see here as well, some of the more general fonts even can be really popular on Etsy, and some of the sales figures are actually pretty incredible. I mean, obviously the ideal situation is that you create your own fonts manually by drawing them out on an iPad or designing them on a design software. Or like I said, the alternative is you repackage and repurpose existing fonts online. You just download them as OTF and TTF file types. Then you literally just zip them up together and you list them on Etsy for sale. But please, with this one, it's critical. Just do your research and make sure that you're not using any fonts that could get you in trouble with copyright or infringement allegations. So you can only design your own or use free to use fonts online that have no resale restrictions. But yeah, give it a try. I think if you come across some great fonts, then I think this could be a real winner. So yeah, moving on to idea number 3 now, and this is going to be unique digital journals. So look, I know that digital journals are just everywhere on Etsy, and you're probably thinking to yourself now, Alfie, that is not a very unique niche. However, this is what I think a great example of a so-called oversaturated niche that you can still find some absolute hidden gems if you just keep sub-niching down and finding really specific search terms and products. For example, just look at some of the competition to search levels for some of these items like reading journals, prayer journals, or tarot journals as a fantastic example. And I mean, this search has literally only taken me a matter of minutes to do, and it's given me results that can quite literally make me hundreds of sales a month with those competition and search figures. And this is something that I literally just keep saying. There's no niche that's completely dead in 2023, but you need to know where to look. And honestly, by using programs such as eRank, you can very quickly find some great sub niches of maybe already saturated niches that you can still definitely tap into. And I mean, all of these digital journals can be very easily made on free design software such as Canva, for example. It's honestly not complicated at all. And if you actually want to see just how easy it is to make these products, then I'll leave a link to a video I've made in the top right of this video, and it's literally a full walkthrough on exactly making some digital product and even listing them on Etsy. So yeah, feel free to check that video out after this one if you want to know how to make them. But yeah, moving on to idea number 4 now, and this is going to be unique digital craft patterns. So for this one, think of crafts such as knitting, crochet, or even like sewing, for example. And you can see that patterns for clothing items such as corsets and hoodies are in really high demand with very low search competition, along with jumpsuits and crochet plushie patterns, which are becoming really popular with the growing crochet trend of 2023. And something that I actually found really insightful myself was that in the growing digital world of 2023, there's lots of craft trends such as crochet, which are actually becoming a lot more popular. And to be honest, I probably think that this might be like, as everything gets more hectic and our lives become just 100 miles an hour every single day, I think the crafts such as crochet, something that's really peaceful to do, is going to be a real welcomed escape from the day-to-day hectic lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, for this one, you will find a lot of patterns on Etsy already, so general competition will be quite high. However, this is where you need to do your research to find high search volume sub-niche patterns that you can still do really well with. So a great example of this would be the crochet plushie patterns that we had a look at earlier. But anyway, unlike me, if you're amazing at arts and crafts, then of course you can design these patterns yourself right from scratch. Or the alternative is, just like with the online fonts I mentioned earlier, you can repurpose and rebrand already existing patterns that are free to use online. However, again, I'm going to give you the same disclosure as earlier. Make sure that whatever you've repurposed is free to use and you're not going to get in any sort of copyright or infringement issues in the future for selling those items. But yeah, online craft patterns, download as PDFs, list as digital items. I think if you find some good ones, you'll be onto an absolute winner, because in my personal opinion, this is a trend that's just going to keep rising. Okay, so moving on to idea number 5 now, and this is going to be very unique digital art. So this one is kind of similar to the digital journals that we discussed earlier. There is a huge demand for digital art on Etsy. And with that, in general, there is huge levels of competition. However, by using a program like eRank, you'll see that there is still plenty of spaces to enter the market. So because there is just so many people searching for art on Etsy, even really niche items like anatomy art, for example, still have plenty of searches, as you can see here, with not all that much competition. I mean, even better would be these examples of skateboard art or aviation art, which takes you even deeper into sub niches of digital art. And again, just as I'm talking then, that's given me the idea that maybe you could even go into categories of like sports related digital art, or again, like we mentioned earlier, job specific art. So maybe some funny art for like engineers. And probably the best advice I could give about digital art in general would be to always think of your designs from a personable level. So just think about what people would be searching for as gifts. So rather than something that's really broad like flower art or art for home, that it's just gonna have masses of competition, you really wanna niche down and look for art that hits more of the personal gifting market, in my opinion. And of course, digital art can be so easily made using a program like Canva or Photoshop, where you can literally just pre-select mock-up options, and then these mock-ups are very simple to just list on Etsy. But yeah, just to sum this one up, really focus on items that are personable, and in my opinion, look to sell designs that people are going to be searching for as gifts rather than general searches. But yeah, just be creative. All right, moving on to idea number 6 now, and this is going to be digital checklists. So digital checklists are fantastic product to sell because you can make them so easily and they sell amazing on Etsy. And if you want to see just how quickly you can make digital products, again, I'll link a tutorial video to this in the top right corner of just a short video that I made walking through the whole process of making and listing them on Etsy. But yeah, as you can see here on eRank, there's loads of niche digital checklists that have high searches and really low competition. So I mean, anything from wedding checklists to cleaning checklists to moving checklists are all going to be great examples to explore. And then what I recommend to do is to make multiple designs of each niche checklist. So for example, you could have 10 different designs of a wedding checklist. You could have another 10 different designs of a cleaning checklist. And then you could have another 10 designs of a moving checklist, for example. And then all of a sudden you've got an Etsy shop that for very little effort has got 30 low competition items that you can sell to a massive audience. So yeah, moving on to idea number 7 now, and this is going to be plant-related digital items. So you don't have to be an expert botanist to appreciate this one. Just look at the searches compared to competition for items like snake plant or ZZ plant. And then you go to the next page and you see the incredible ratios of searches to competition for different types of plants. Like, it's absolutely crazy. But now this is the thing, we're not going to be selling physical plants, of course. We're going to be selling digital items for the plant, such as art prints, identification labels, care guides, or birthday cards, for example. And now this is just a clever bit to remember there. Every time somebody searches for the keywords for these plants, which we saw on eRank, we're getting a high amount of searches, it's going to throw up our products as well. And think, if somebody's looking for a very specific plan, then this is also going to massively increase our sales chances of selling any specific plant related items for that specific plant. And I hope that makes sense. So yeah, if somebody's searching for a snake plant, for example, and as they're scrolling through a load of snake plants, they see a really cool, quirky, printable design for an identification label for a snake plant that they haven't seen anywhere else, then the chances are it's going to be a lot easier, or you're going to have a lot higher percentage chance of selling that unique product to that customer because they're already searching for a very specific item anyway. But yeah, just have fun with this one, and I think it's such a cool idea. And I don't know if you can tell, but I love plants myself, so I might even start looking into this myself. And somebody asked me what this was on previous videos, and it's actually a pineapple plant, just if anybody's interested. But yeah, there you have it, guys. 7 really unique ideas that I was so proud to share with you because I really put a lot of effort into researching these, and personally I think they're all really unique with the high search volume and low sales competition. So yeah, I really hope you guys loved this video, and as always, don't be scared to hit the subscribe button if you think that I talk any sense. Subscribe to my channel would be so appreciated, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.